This is still Midday Live. It is coming to you from our studio here at Adesanwe. Now, one of the issues that came up over the weekend, or before we entered the weekend, was a demonstration in the Western region that had to do with some Muslims who said that they have been discriminated against in various sectors, especially in schools. Now, the Christian Council of Ghana says government should avoid making what it calls hasty political decisions over the wearing of headscarves or hijab in schools. Some Muslim groups in Takoradi in the Western region last week protested against what they describe as discrimination against Muslims in Christian schools. Subsequently, government issued a statement threatening to sanction institutions which abuse the rights of individuals. But the General Secretary of the Christian Council, Reverend Dr. Kwabena Opuning Frimpong, says the matter must be resolved peacefully. In a statement, the council noted that the current circumstances or conditions expressed by the Muslim brothers and sisters over the use of hijab in the educational institutions call for a particular consensus, a consensus building to address the issue. And we are going to be speaking on the issue now. In studio we have Imam. Firdaus Basha Basaus. Your position. Right, so we want to delve a little longer into this particular issue, and I've been joined in studio by Imam Abdul Firdaus. I hope I got the pronunciation right. And he is a scholar on issues concerning Islam, and would want to find out from him really the concerns that have been raised, what they make of it, how they think would be the most appropriate way of resolving it, because some have already started raising concerns that this is how it starts, and then violence could creep in if the right channels are not being used to address the concerns that have been raised. Thank you very much, sir, for joining us.
Thank you.
And first question might be, your concerns have been raised. There's been a demonstration. After the demonstration, have you gotten any feedback, or have you gotten any results as a result of the demonstration?
Actually, I think the demonstration is done at some part of the country, and because the issue has confronted them directly, and I think that it is just to raise.
So our approach is, can the National Peace Council, all religious leaders, traditional leaders, Ghana Education Service, bring all of us together to reflect and at least and make space for everybody in this matter. If it happens we are not successful, the law courts are still there. Recently, Adventist students we worship on Saturdays complain that they've been asked to write examination on Saturday. In fact, government did not give directive. They had to go to court. So how come that now you have a situation, a group of people complain, and now there's government directive, and that is also addressing what Christians should do for Muslims in Christian school. That the directive was silent about what Muslims should do for Christians, others should do for traditional worshippers. So our position is, please, politicians, don't play the political card now. Leave the same people, Ghana Education Service, National Peace Council, to handle the issue. If need be, let the law courts interpret our freedoms in such matters. Before we hear such a directive from government, do this, we are going to sanction you. Let me say that National Peace Council has called for a meeting, calling for all of us to meet on the subject. Before we could say, Jack, directive has been issued, that do this, do that. Now what do? Do we go to the National Peace Council meeting or not? So we are pleading with our politicians, next year being election year, that please don't play the political card on faith matters. Politicians are not the best people to handle faith matters. We have done it before, we can do it again. We must sit down, consensus building must be pursued, and it shall surely be a way of pulling this country together in a more interfaith harmony for the years ahead.
Right, and that dovetails into my next question, which is that, Christians and Muslims have coexisted in a very, very peaceful and harmonious way since independence, or since the beginning of this country. But Do you not think that with such concerns being raised, there is the possibility of it turning violent?
That is why we need to sit down and talk. One, we have different schools in Ghana. We have schools that are purely government schools, the land, the building, everything. We have schools that are purely private schools. The land, the facilities belong to individuals or institutions. Then we have private schools that government provide some public funding for its running. We need to consider all this. Have we reached a point where maybe government must do something differently in the public school by providing mosques, by providing temples for other people, say in public schools? Have we reached a point where maybe government need to stop funding mission schools so that people, because the missions also set up their schools for a purpose and they have interest, and like any other business, when I make investment, my investment must be protected. So it should not be that you are test school, now do whatever. What about the interest of the churches? I must say that the Muslims also, because we have Muslim schools. And you can't go to, say, the Makaranta and other places and say you are a Christian. So come and do what? So we must protect Islamic interests in their schools. So do we protect Christian interests and give Ghanaian parents option. That if you're a parent and you want your child to go to a Christian school and you're a Muslim, you must know what it means. If you are a Christian and you want to go to Muslim school, you must know what it means. But maybe if you go to a public school, government will provide you X, Y, Z. Now, right. These are issues that we must sit down and deeply think through. I don't even think what I have just said is a solution. We need dialogue. We need consensus building. Okay. And non-violence must be the approach. And we should not create the impression that it's only one group of people who can be violent. Everybody can be violent. So let us have a more comprehensive approach to the issue rather than skewing the whole discussion. We consider the recent directive by the Minister of Communication being skewed and not comprehensive enough, and then it came out too early. And such a position can facilitate what you mentioned, attention and order.
All right. Reverend Dr. Oponing Frimpong, we are very grateful for your time. Thank you very much for your thoughts on the issue. He is the General Secretary of the Christian Council of Ghana. Back in studio, I have the Quranic scientist Sheikh Abdul Al-Karam Firdaus, and he was telling us what it means, what the hijab means for the Islamic religion, and why they deem it necessary that their girls or daughters or female colleagues should wear them at their various workplaces and in schools. But the concern that was raised by Reverend, which is that it should be discussed clear of politics and that the politicians shouldn't meddle in these affairs. Is that a position you share?
When we say politician, it's not so much of a politician, but it is a government in charge. Because at the end of the day, all the burdens is going to run down on the same government that is in power. For instance, we cannot live together and consider ourselves as one people and there are no compromises. For instance, constitutionally, Ghana is a secular country, isn't it? Right. But it is only Christian countries that are supposed to have representation, a full official representation in the Vatican. Ghana has now, sent an official representation to Vatican, signifying what? That Ghana is a Christian country. But Muslims did not complain about it, and it is not even an issue, because every religion is calling for something that will bring progress, for something that will bring development, for something that will bring peace. The only difference is that the channel you pass through makes the difference. You see that? And to sort of react on an issue that some Islamic schools are forcing Christian schools. No. Islamically, it is an obligation that when you are going to a Christian environment to sort of seek your interests, you have to abide by the laws of that place. So if you are going to a Catholic school, under normal circumstance, it's going to be odd for you to want to represent Islam in a Catholic school. Where the problem is, when people or some people are considering government schools as solely Christian schools. This is where the problem is. Okay. No one will go to Anglican school go to Catholic school and then want to be that crefe he want to be in that school, because there are conditions.
So if it is a government school, there shouldn't be that compulsory rule that be a Muslim or be a Christian, or we are all Christian.
When we are now in government
but if
school,
it is a Muslim school, clearly the rules are stated that this is a Muslim school and you abide by the Muslim rules.
Some Muslim schools do compromise, in the sense that there's schools that are so secular. They compromise with these things. They don't mind when you are wearing, or you don't even wear.
Okay.
Do you get that? But my problem is where it is a, for instance, you work at ministries, then your direct boss will say, don't wear hijab and come to work.
Okay.
But if it is his private company, and he said, my policy, my personal policy is that I don't want you to wear this. It is either you prefer your religion and step out, or you go in to obey that conditions.
Okay. I think this is a debate that will linger for a while, but we hope that hopefully this will be resolved peacefully and get the country back on track in terms of coexistence. Thank you very much, Sheikh Abdul Al-Karam Firdaus. He is an Islamic scholar and also a Quranic scientist, and has been speaking to us about the issue we've raised.